Hello and welcome to Financial Advice in a Digital World. That's a series of films and a debate next year where we'll be discussing a lot of the issues to do with financial advice, to do with digital, automated, robo, call it what you will. We're talking to Ian McKenna, who is the founder of Digital Wealth Insights. Now, Ian, if I'm a financial advisor at the moment, and any financial advisors I speak to, they say they're very busy. They've had the pension freedoms, the model all seems sorted out after the RDR, everything's settling down. They have enough clients to deal with. They're doing quite well. They're doing very well, actually. Now, the question is, why shouldn't they just keep going as they are?
Well, firstly, I'd entirely agree that advisors are in a better position than they've ever been. Certainly their business model's more robust. There's an unparalleled demand for their services. But it's also important for them to look at their own future. And one of the key messages here is that businesses that have made good use of technology, implementing it across their business, and particularly those that have put in place digital communications mechanisms with their clients, can sell for considerably more than firms that are purely based on paper records. So actually investing in technology is very much about investing in the advisor's own future.
So that's advisors. What about the clients? Like, have we seen their behaviour changing?
Absolutely. There's significant evidence that consumers, contrary perhaps to common views amongst the advisor community, wealthy people tend to be early adopters of technology. And when you actually look at the demographics of who are the consumers that embrace accessing information about their savings and investments online, it's actually those in their 50s and their 60s that are using these services more than anyone else.
Is anything going to accelerate automated advice and what happens with it, say in the years up to 2021, say if that's about 5 from now? So.
Well, I think it's important to look at what the government are driving with the Pension Dashboards initiative. They're putting a lot of pressure on the industry to deliver services, fully populated services. By 2019, every pension provider of any shape or size, DC, DB, or anything else you care to consider, including state benefits, it'll be a cost of doing business that you have to, free of charge, deliver information on the pension benefits you're providing into a range of services which can be consumed by customers so that they can see all their pension information in a single place together, which will give them far more access and understanding about the sum of their pension savings. It is expected that will go on and then embrace other forms of savings in the future. I think the key point there is that when we see a wide range of these services from a plethora of different providers, if an advisor firm isn't offering something equivalent, they're going to be in the situation that if the customer's chosen to use somebody else's service to look at a holistic view of their finances, that customer's probably already mentally taken the decision to move to another financial advisor. They just haven't actioned it.
Okay, which is certainly something that advisors will want to bear in mind. What if you are an advisor, the question is, what are these services going to look like? They're going to have to design these. They're going to have to look at what consumers are wanting, how their clients are changing. So that's an interesting, and a lot of that is trying to work out what's happening in the future. So what do these advice services look like?
Well, from the advisor perspective, I think it's important to recognise that their primary business is not, and their primary skill sets, not building software. So they really need to be identifying the right partners. That may be technology companies, it may be financial institutions building services which can then be embraced and white labelled by advisor firms to enable them to offer digital advice propositions to their customers. What you're talking about from the consumer perspective is an unparalleled level of information being delivered to them where they want it, whenever they want it, in the form that they want it. In the same way as almost every aspect of our lives these days is touched and controlled via our smartphones, it's not conceivable that that won't begin to have an impact on financial advice. If you're using your smartphone for just about everything else in your life, why would financial advice be the one area that's exempt?
And just one final question. Does this increases the number of people who can be reached potentially by these advisor businesses?
Oh, absolutely. It's an enormous opportunity for advice firms to cost effectively reach far more customers, and they can certainly manage the cost of those relationships. Face-to-face advice is a very expensive thing, especially when it's being delivered by highly qualified advisors, and you know that they deserve to be remunerated accordingly. But at the same time, there is a vast number of people, the advice gap that we keep talking about, who simply don't have access to the advice and guidance that they need. Advisor firms can embrace these opportunities and grow their businesses in significant areas very profitably.
Thank you, Ian, for talking about financial advice in a digital world.
Thank you, John.